ShinRobjira.
It's been quite the wait, but the time is now. Today we are going to be talking about the Godzilla Vinyl Wars Marmit Shin Godzilla. Now I don't think I really need to go about discussing my history with Shin Godzilla. Given the channel name and how many times I've talked about the same exact movie monster series molds, however many times I've actually done that, you should all know by now that ShinRobjira loves Shin Godzilla, so let's get started. Now, in terms of paint and detail, this isn't going to be the most accurate Shin Godzilla figure in my collection. Although, if you wanted to get a little bit more godless, you should check out the other Marmit Shin Godzillas that were made because, ooh boy! That is not to say that this figure is bad. In fact, this figure is the very exact opposite of bad. I would dare say it's even perfect. Let's take a look. Now, from the word go, you're really not going to know where you want to put your eyes first. Do you want to look at the nearly perfect painted eyes and teeth? Do you want to look at the almost candy-looking detail that is on this thing thanks to what it's made out of and the paint? Or do you want to complain about shipping damage? Because I certainly don't. Because I don't care. Yeah, I'll go as far to say that the eyes are perfect, the teeth are perfect. They will be perfect on both sides, mind you. Now, from straight on, Shin Godzilla might look a little bit lopsided here. But the beautiful thing about this is that MCT Tokyo, where I got this figure from, actually showcased this. This is part of the mold. This is how it's supposed to be, unlike SH Monster Arts. So yet again, I saw that and absolutely wasn't surprised or let down because I knew it was going to be that way. You know. Just look at all of that fantastic hamburger meat looking detail. We've got the detail for the gills over here, all of this lovely line work going on. More fantastic detail on the front of the neck coming to this pointed crest on the chest. And you guessed it, yes, there's going to be great detail on every single side of this figure. Moving on. The Shin Godzilla area over here is really, really nice, and I like that they really didn't try to make Shin Godzilla's chest on this figure this open wound looking thing. You can actually see some streaks of red over here, over these vein looking details over here, mainly just like the loosened skin here, and they just followed that along, and personally I like how that looks. I like that it's not perfect. Honestly, that's the whole reason to buy a Marmit. You're really not looking to Marmit for accurate molds or accurate paint. While they do that, I actually really do prefer their stylistic molds and paint jobs here because it just gives the character so much more of that character. And as we all know, Shin Godzilla has about as much character as a plank of wood because he's just screaming internally every second he's alive. But to see all the love and care that went into painting this thing, into sculpting this thing, I mean, just look at this. It's like the opening of Willy Wonka if Willy Wonka's factory was run by Jason Voorhees. There's just so much skin and sinewy looking red bits and everything here. It just looks so good. And speaking of sinewy bits, look at this gigantic open wound looking thing on his thigh over here. I don't know what, how, who, but it's great. It's fantastic. And I love that it carries over all the way to the part of the thigh over here, making it look like an open wound. Yeah, they probably just followed along a specific design here, but it still looks awesome. This is the real burning Godzilla right here, except he's not burning, he's blooding. He's just blooding everywhere. Shin Godzilla, Shin Go, Holy God, Scabs, Jira. Everywhere you look, there is black, there is red, there is the two commingling together, making this very disturbing oozy brown color. It's just next level stuff here. Now, yes, as you can see, the toes are painted this white, and yes, they are a little bit banged up. That happened during shipping. Of course, ShinRobjira over here would never allow that to happen to his favorite Godzilla ever. From his favorite Godzilla movie ever. Yeah, I went there. This is probably the worst offender here, and I have to show you. Yeah! Right here, you can actually see where the toes were poking out of this little plastic bag that Marmits and other figures come in. Saw it as I got it out of the box, really wasn't upset from the get-go just because, I mean, look at this thing. What is there to be upset over? Nothing. Go away. Do I wish it wasn't like that? Sure. Am I bothered by it? Absolutely not. Why am I looking at toenails when I can look at this? I can pick out at least 3 things that I love here. You know what it is? Look at this. This isn't red, it isn't black. It's that weird combination of black and red to make this weird brown color. Breaks everything up. You can turn the figure a little bit to the side and you can see more red balancing out with the black over here, and it looks great. The detail is fantastic, and most of all, it's entirely balanced out and it works. Yes, the tail and the dorsal fins are a little bit more red than the body, but I do feel that was massively intentional, unlike other figures. But just look at those dorsal fins, man. Look at how they pop, how they separate from the skin. You can see all the black over here just crawling up the dorsal fins, being swallowed up by this blood candy looking red. It's so fantastic. And at the right angle, you can even see all that whimsical little detail going in there. And with the detail that is shown here and the way they are painted, it really does look like these are protruding out from Shin Godzilla's skin. They're stretching the skin to their limits, and it's just poking through, and it's all just very, very nice looking. And I really do like that Shin Godzilla's back is the same base color as his skin. That way it really does give the red that massive popping power. I mean, just look at that. It's fantastic, and it helps them just stand out so much more, and especially for somebody like me who has like 7 or 6 Bandai Movie Monsters Shin Godzilla figures. It's so nice to see a wild red like this for a Shin Godzilla figure. Yes, I know there's the theater exclusive Movie Monster series figure, but look at this! It's a completely different red. In fact, I think that one was called orange, but who knows. Now, before I forget, and I will if I don't do this now, he do got some dorsal fins on his head and his neck, and they look fantastic. And look at all that lovely detail. Oh my god, yes, it's like a charred piece of barbecued meat. Sorry. The tail looks like pain and suffering immortalized in this big ol' butt noodle. This is really, really nice, and I like how we got the streaks of the darker color on top of the red, because I do think red was this thing's base color. I think it was casted in a red and they just added the black on top of it, and this just works. I love the way this looks. Yes, it's a lot more red than it really needs to be, but again, I don't care. This is stupendous. I have not been this happier with the Shin Godzilla tail since Heavy Paint Movie Monsters Shin Godzilla, or even the X+. Honestly, just look at that, man. It's a candy cane of death and sinewy flesh bits. It's great. And another thing that I just love about this thing is that the underside of the tail is mostly red. Yeah, you're going to see some of those black highlights on there, but for the most part, especially once you get towards the tip, it's going to be mostly red. Now, speaking of the tip, there really isn't going to be any massive amounts of detail on there. I mean, you're definitely not going to see any hybrids crawling out or a face, but you will see some detail in there, just not a lot. Not like we're accustomed to. But either way, it does look nice. And I really do like that it's pink. They clearly sprayed a little bit of white paint on there on top of the red to really give it a bit more of a bursty, and it just fits. Oh yeah, and just because I totally glanced over the arms like a moron, you can see that the fingernails are painted, although fingernails aren't exactly sculpted there. The tops of the fingers are just painted white. See what I'm saying? Just white. And on both sides. There is absolutely no sense in even denying that I have a massive Shin Godzilla bias. And yes, I have been waiting to finally own a Marmit Shin Godzilla figure for so long, but all of that aside, even with the little dinged up toes, I still do find this perfect. So paint and detail, 2 solid stars from me. What else could I possibly ask for? Look at this thing! Perfect. Now this Marmit Shin Godzilla can quite obviously walk the walk, but can he talk the articulation? Or talk the talk of articulation? Or can he talk the talk of paint and detail, but can he walk the walk of articulation? Something like that, I don't know. I'm sure the answer won't surprise you because he can go all the way around at the head, Both arms can go back about that far. I don't know, something about that just looks hilarious. See what I'm saying? And they can come back around this far, looking like Shin's holding his titties. I like to be a little bit more neutral with the arms. Legs can go all the way around like so, much to my surprise. Really was not expecting this at all. Now, I absolutely have not been brave enough to try and get this thing to go all the way around. It's only going a specific way to the side. Oh god, I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, yeah, it can go all the way around, but I don't want to do that ever again. And much to my surprise, the tip of the tail can also turn around as well. Not even my beloved movie monster series can handle 2 points of articulation on a tail these days. That is quite fantastic. And yes, while this articulation really isn't going to aid in many different poses for Shin Godzilla, just moving the arms, the legs, and the tail is more than enough for me. So, I'm gonna give articulation another solid star. I also just have to go over very quick that this figure is extremely translucent and it looks awesome. No matter where you shine a light behind, around, or near this thing, it's just going to light up. It's going to look so fantastic, and I just love that it's red. Further adding to Shin Godzilla's charm with the red glow that he had in the movie, him being translucent red just seems like a huge dang no-brainer. And it's to my surprise that practically every point of this figure is massively translucent. You know, I was expecting maybe the tail and the dorsal fins, but not the feet, not the whole entire body, not the arms. I mean, just looking at this here, like, it just looks so nice with light behind it, and it's like a completely different figure looking experience to see just how translucent it is. And I had like at least a good 15 minutes worth of footage of me doing exactly what you're seeing here, shining a light through it. I am very easily impressed, but easily the tail is probably the coolest looking part that is translucent, because from the base to the midsection all the way to the tip, it just shows everything, and everything looks amazing. I mean, look at the tip over here. Absolutely besides myself. Massive Shin Godzilla biases aside, I wasn't expecting this figure to look as good as it did in the promo photos. Did I mention that there's like 4 versions of this guy? The clear red, the frozen, the awakening, and the gigantic one. And in all honesty, if my good luck continues to be good luck, I'm definitely going to end up picking up an awakening version of this guy. And then if that continues, I'll definitely get the frozen version. And if that continues, I'll eventually get the gigantic version too, because yeah, why not? I need more Shin Godzilla in my life. The detail is fantastic. The paint is exactly what it needs to be. This figure is going to stand out in my amassed collection of Shin Godzilla figures, and it's not just in the size, it's in the color. And the color won me over. Out of the 4 that were presented that day so very long ago in January, this is the one that spoke out to me most. Over the awakening version with the purple, over the frozen version with the whites and the silvers that does not have the hybrids coming out of the tail, just saying. And over the gigantic version, which was honestly going to be any of the 3 because $168 plus DHL shipping. Ain't there yet. I love this figure. It's going to be yet another solid 3 stars from me. And it's honestly not just my Shin Godzilla bias. I really am just in love with this thing so very much. Now, I know not everybody is going to share my opinion on this thing being perfect and amazing, but it's perfect and amazing to me. We're all our own people. You're allowed to like what you like. I'm allowed to like what I like. You're allowed to dislike what you dislike. I'm allowed to dislike what I dislike. Like SH Monster Arts. Okay, enough throwing them under the bus. They have great releases, Rob. You know that. But anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow with yet another video, and that'll probably be it for the week. Maybe. See you next time, everybody.